I want to know about this, Governor Palin. You've seen the parodies from Saturday Night Live, Tina Fey. Now, Rich Little, the comedian who does a lot of impersonations himself, says he thinks they're cruel and mean. I want to know what your take is, honestly, one way or the other, on Tina Fey's impersonation of you.
She's funnier than heck when you turn the volume down because she's spot on in the mannerisms and everything else. But, yeah, some of the content is ridiculous. But I think she's very talented. She's funny.
She says she's going to leave the planet if you win.
Oh, hate to see her go.
What would you do differently on the more serious side, Governor? What would you do differently with the office of Vice President?
I look forward to being in there with John McCain as the leader of this country, to be able to lead our country towards this path of energy independence that we will reach. We have got to quit spending money in other countries that do not like America, asking them to produce energy for our country so that we can import it. That's going to be one of the reforms that I'll be in charge of. And also just helping John McCain get in there in every agency, every department, cleaning up the corruption, getting rid of the good old boy network that has really stuck it to middle class, regular, every working Americans who want to be able to trust their federal government. So reform of government, energy independence, families with kids with special needs, really doing whatever I can to make the country more welcoming for all children. Those things I just so look forward to working on, Lars. And God, I just, hoping and praying that on November 4th, the rest of America, too, our voters realize that now is the time for reform, and you got a ticket here offering to reform and offering track records that prove that we can do it. So sure hope that's what we see at the end of the day on November 4th.
Governor Palin, the last time I talked to you was before you'd been named as John McCain's running mate. But you and I did talk about John McCain, and you said at that time you thought you could talk him into the drilling in Anwar that a lot of us think should be happening. Have you had any luck?
He's coming up to Alaska with me at some point here. He has told me that he would. He'll take another look at this, and I very much appreciate that he is open-minded enough, and also he's not this flip-flopper saying that, he's against clean coal and then debate saying he is. And this is, I'm going to tell you this, as opposed to Biden and Obama, who flip-flopped all over the place with their energy policies. And McCain, too, having understood that offshore drilling, too, is not raping the outer continental shelf, as Biden has said. And he, with his all of the above approach, McCain, realizing that if we do not become energy independent, our nation will never be secure, and we will never have the prosperity, the opportunity, the job creation that we could see if we don't tap into our domestic supplies of energy. They're there, Lars. They're waiting for us. Billions of barrels of oil, clean coal technology that we are on the cusp of, hundreds of trillions of cubic feet of clean natural gas, and instead we're traveling over to Saudi Arabia asking them to ramp up for us. We're importing energy from Hugo Chavez, who uses energy as a weapon, and all these other countries too. That no, our dollars should be circulating here at home, creating jobs for Americans instead of other countries.
Absolutely. In fact, I love that Senator McCain last night told Senator Obama, "You're only talking about looking at drilling, not actually putting a drill rig in the ground."
I cheered for McCain on that one, too. And right on, listen to the nuances. Listen to the language that our opponents use and pay such close attention to what they're saying. They will not give you definitively what their plans are for energy independence or for creating jobs or for affordable, accessible health care that can be provided. Quite a lot of nebulous, opaque language even that's being used, and that scares me also. I want straight talk from my presidential candidate. That's what we get from John McCain, and that's appreciated.
Hey, Governor, let me ask you this. The whole time I've been a reporter, more than 30 years, women's groups, so-called women's groups, have been talking their game, saying, we want the day when a woman can have a job and a family and children and a home and a political career, and along you come, and they don't want the first thing to do with you. What do you say to them?
Buddy? Some of them are showing their true colors there. That perhaps is not what they wanted. They wanted, it's only a few of the extreme groups, but they have wanted that few extreme groups agenda to be ushered in. It hasn't necessarily just been a woman being able to succeed in politics, in the corporate world, with family, with vocations and avocations that are good for herself, for family, for community, for our nation. That's not necessarily what some of them have wanted, and that's been so obvious that agenda has been revealed. But we do have a lot of women, a lot of liberal women, though, they're coming to our rallies, and they've got some of their Hillary buttons on still, and yet they're coming to support us because they recognize, too, what a farce some of that had been with the women's groups, and not everybody in those groups, but a couple of the leaders in the groups really showing their true colors through all this. But it's all okay, because the women whom I know and the women who are showing up at these rallies and supporting us, they know what this is all about. They know that, we are in a way more challenged because there is a glass ceiling still in some aspects of society and our culture, and they understand kind of what we're up against also, and they're supportive because they know that we can do this, and that gender should not be an issue in this election. And I so appreciate seeing them out there in the audiences and speaking with them afterwards, especially, and hearing their stories and their struggles, and we're all in this together.
Governor Palin, you've been very generous. One last question. As Vice President, will you still find time to go hunting?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, Todd was just telling me he's up in northern Maine today, and he was saying that they've got some good hunting up there also. And he says, even if we can't be in Alaska hunting, he's asking, can I go hunting up here in Maine? I'll say, absolutely. All over this great country, and look forward to doing this in other parts of the world, not just Alaska.
Governor Sarah Palin, thank you very, very much for the time.
I always like to talk to you and listen to you, Lars, so thank you so much.
You betcha, and good luck on November 4th.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Governor.
Bye-bye.